Hi guys, morning. How we going? So quite a serious live stream this morning. Hopefully I've got at least half an hour. I'm hoping for the kids are awake. They're all in the lounge with my wife. They're watching a Disney film. So I might hopefully I'll get a bit of time. So let's get you guys up. I just thought I'd go live for a change. Um, I just want to quickly put it on our Defending Elvis Facebook page. Please join our Defending Elvis Facebook page. It also has 2 chats on there. Click on the chat button. Join us. So this morning we did part 1 of a Donna Presley video where she was invited by the Duchess to chat with House because the Duchess was an Elvis fan. So we only managed to do part 1. We're going to do part 2 later. A beautiful video by Donna Presley, helped by Karen. Yeah. And so let me just quickly tell everyone that we're live. Now, remember, our channel at the moment, because of the 2 strikes situation, very much a large part of it is on private. So that does mean that at the moment, people are not being notified anything we do. So there's a lot less people joining us, but that'll pass. Don't worry, guys. That whole situation is being dealt with, so please don't worry. Right, I just quickly to put it on Facebook. Now, many of you will watch this through the night. We're still getting a lot of views through the night. I always wake up to hundreds and hundreds of views on my videos. I have stopped playing replays. I had a phase of about a week of just re-uploading replays. I've stopped doing that now. Now it's all new videos that I'm making each day. Yeah. I tend to do 2 videos a day, 1 live a day. That is really what I aim for. Sometimes we throw in a dog walk. Yeah. So there's 2 videos here. There's obviously the Dee Stanley Geraldo show. I won't play it because I won't play the disgusting things that are said by Dee Stanley, but I will play how people like JD and Joe Esposito challenge Dee Stanley and put her in her place and prove her to be the liar, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes, not a fact, that she is. Now, please understand, I am a Defending Elvis channel, so I will defend Elvis. The whole point of this little section here is defending Elvis against the lies that were said about him. I have to say the whole show is for entertainment purposes, not a fact, just opinion sharing, discussion YouTube channel. But for whatever reason, Dee Stanley probably, she was offered a large amount of money. She does this show that says the most horrific things about Elvis. I won't say what she said. I think we all know. Yeah. This is probably the number 1 reason why Dee Stanley has had such a hard time. Obviously, she's not with us now. Now, I have discussed this with Billy Stanley before, very briefly. And he did say, he tried to stop her. He did say to me, she was offered a large amount of money. Yeah. That none of it is true. Okay. But these videos have come up. There's 2 videos that have come up. I think I want to just go over them. Yeah. This is just an intro video that is just showing people are just, at the time of this show, the Geraldo show, people are just horrified by the whole thing. Should not be happening. Close friends of Elvis are defending him. This really was a step too far. Now, I don't do things in hate. I don't do things to be nasty, but I will wrong the rights in defense of Elvis and Gladys in this instance. People, we are a Defending Elvis channel. Yes, we are going to do the nice, interesting, sweet stories. Yeah, of course we will. We've done quite a few lately, but we must defend. That is what we do. That is our calling, I think. Our purpose, to try and make a difference now so that the future generations of new fans will start to see the true Elvis, the real Elvis, just how unfairly Elvis has been treated by people close to him, people that were around him in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, people, his ex-wife, so that at least there is someone shouting loudly. You know, when I say someone, a group, a movement, a defending Elvis movement, including Donna Presley, who is Elvis's first cousin, who we adore, trying to show the world the true Elvis, not the warped, twisted version of Elvis that has been so unfairly portrayed, as Ginger Alden has said many times, so unfairly portrayed. Yeah. So somehow we have to play these kind of things to show the world that the true Elvis is in amongst all the smoke. You've got to wipe the smoke out of the way, blow the smoke out of the way, see the true Elvis, which is a beautiful man with a beautiful spirit, a beautiful heart, a beautiful essence. One of the kindest men ever lived. So now it starts pretty dramatic. Hi Jane, how are you, Jane? You okay? It starts pretty dramatic. J.D. Sumner is horrified by what Dee Stanley is trying to do for money on this show that would have been watched by millions. Could you imagine the damage this show did to Elvis's image and reputation? I'm not going to be showing the bits where she says disgusting things that are not true about Elvis. And then we have another video of someone discussing how Elvis felt about his father Vernon Presley marrying Dee Stanley within a few years of Gladys passing, very soon after Gladys passed. So hi Jane, let's play the video. Let's see how we get on. Okay, but I wanted to do it live because we don't actually do as many lives as we used to. So here goes, guys.
That gentleman is the esteemed country music star. That's J.D. Sumner right there. He is Sumner, J.D. Sumner.
So he is fuming. Let me just double check. So this is actually on J.D. Sumner's YouTube channel. So obviously he's not with us now, is he? But please subscribe, guys. It seems like a good YouTube channel, and it was posted 2 months ago. Okay, so here goes. Now let's watch how Elvis's close friends defend him.
J.D. and Elvis were best friends since Elvis was 14. J.D. Sumner. J.D. is a well-known singer and
no.
Everybody
knows
lived
the truth.
a lie.
Sitting next to him, Joe Esposito.
You're the only one that lived a lie.
Everyone
No, I'm
lived
not
a lie.
hurting you.
Joe
Elvis
Esposito's
lived a lie
close
around Elvis.
friend and confidant of
You're
Elvis.
living a
J.D.
lie.
Sumner,
drugs.
best friend since
Why would
early
you
on.
not deny if you ever heard of this, J.D.?
We're not talking about drugs. We're talking about your
Let's get
Popeye's
back.
lie about him sleeping with his
get
mama.
Right, okay, right, I'm trying to skip over the real horrible stuff here, because I'm very against this video. I'm on about the full version of this video, yeah? I'm horrified that it's being played by anybody, okay? So, but I massively stand up for the fact that they tried to put her in her place and expose her as a liar, you know? I have to say allegedly, not a fact. I'm so proud of Joe Esposito and J.D. Sumner.
Oh, shut up.
How can you sit there? How can you sit there in America watching you and tell such a blooming lie?
How could
That's what
you?
It's a good point, yeah. I know how, because she was offered a very high amount of money. Now, I also know Elvis was very, very good to Dee Stanley. He was, you know, it's so beautiful how Elvis was. I'm just seeing if I can see the book. To Billy, to Ricky, to Dave. You know, I've always said, I know that Billy doesn't like me and calls me a clown, but I don't feel that way. I know that Billy says Elvis doesn't need defending because he's in heaven. I don't feel that way. I just want to, you know, in case Billy watches my show, I'm a fan of yours from the point of view that you defend Elvis and you wrote a beautiful book that defends Elvis. I'm a fan of yours, but we have different views concerning. I truly think Elvis needs defending. I don't think it's right to call me a clown. I don't think that's fair. But I'm very forgiving about it. I forgive you for saying that. I have no hard feelings towards you. I actually think we could be friends, but at the same time, I have to say this: we have to defend Elvis. We have to defend Elvis, and any wrongdoing needs to be discussed on an opinion-based discussion YouTube program, just so the world knows that when these lies were being said, alleged lies, that they're just not true. They're just not true. Everything that Dee Stanley says, it's not true. I understand it's very awkward for Billy because it's his mum, yeah? But I have to say this, from the point of view of this being a discussion program about things that happened, about part of history. This interview is part of history. We're allowed to discuss it. On behalf of Elvis, we defend Elvis and just say to the world, all of this is rubbish. None of this is true, in our opinions. And then we have amazing people like J.D. Sumner and Joe Esposito that comes to the defense of Elvis.
Sit there and let him die with the drugs and not
I knew him long before you did.
You probably did.
I sung at his mother's funeral. I attended church with his mom and him. And you are lying, lady.
I was
you
told
have repeated a lie.
I was told
You're
by.
lying.
How do we know?
I was told by.
Right, I'm gonna anything where I think she's gonna mention the lie, I'll just pass. I'll go over it.
Broke. Her own boys told me she's broke, and she's doing it for money. What other reason is to do this? What would this help? How's this going to help anybody if Elvis slept with his mother?
Ooh, I don't know. Sorry, I honestly, I'm trying to avoid it when they say it. But look at Joe's face. Look at Joe's face. He is extremely passionate and angry and defensive for Elvis. Really wants to defend his close friend. I've spoke to Joe's daughter, Cindy Esposito. I had a long conversation with her on the phone here at my house. And she speaks beautifully about Joe Esposito. I'm a fan of Joe Esposito. He's done some beautiful interviews defending Elvis. I honestly, go and have a look on YouTube, guys. I'm so proud that Joe jumps in to defend his friend Elvis.
Even if it were so, even if the first nth degree was so, which it is not, it would take a low down person to reveal such stuff.
She wanted him, and he said, I'll put up with it as long as she's around, but she'll never take my mother's place, and I'll never call her mother.
What do you mean she came after him? What are you talking about?
Well, okay, she was married in Germany at the time to a sergeant in the Army when Vernon married her. And when Vernon met her.
Which she tried to seduce Vernon to leave her husband with.
He did.
She was married then.
Well, she left him for Vernon.
Yeah.
What? She left him for Vernon.
Take a break.
You can. JD and Joe Esposito are fuming.
Now, JD, you allege that Dee flirted with Elvis?
That what?
That Dee flirted with Elvis?
So we've all heard about this, yeah? That initially Dee liked Elvis, and it didn't work out, and then Vernon was the next best thing. I don't know, I wasn't there. You tell me, you put it in the comments, let me know what you think.
In Germany?
No, I said that she was living with her first husband, Mr. Stanley, which I wish she'd go back using that name instead of Presley. She was living with him when she went after Vernon, and going after Vernon, she was after Elvis.
Good.
Let me just say one thing.
Put it in the comments, guys. You tell me, what is the truth?
Number one, I address you as Mrs. Stanley because you don't deserve to have the Presley name. Thank you. If Stanley...
About Elvis. If this isn't true, that will come out. But this is part of history, and
it's definitely not true. It's definitely not true. The whole thing was done for money, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes, not a fact.
it would explain all the dysfunction and how he ended up the way he ended up.
You mentioned that Goldman had written something similar to the same thing. Goldman's book is a lie. I was involved in Goldman. He even took some statements I made and made a lie out of them. It's either the truth or it's a lie. There's no gray area when you call a man a homosexual and when you say a man sleeps with his mother.
Okay, well, I want I'm trying to avoid the. I'm trying to avoid the really horrible comments. Let's keep
30
going.
pieces of silver.
JD,
I just wonder how much you
Did
got.
Elvis sleep with his mother?
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to jump over these bits. I don't want to hear them. Yeah, let's keep
Go
going.
ahead. No, until you were 16 and 17.
This is for JD.
Quiet, please.
My understanding is you were friends with Elvis when you were young. How young?
No, not really.
No,
No,
JD.
for JD.
When he was 14 years old.
Well, if you were a 14-year-old, when you were 14,
Not
if
me.
your mother...
Right, hang on, I'm going to jump over these bits. Remember, I'm here to defend Elvis. I don't want to play the clips that are derogatory.
Embarrassing situation for Elvis. I'm not... Would you be telling your friends? You wouldn't.
If this had happened to me, that I was sleeping with my mother,
Yes.
Hang on, let's just keep going, guys. Let's keep going.
But when Elvis was 14 years old, he couldn't conceive of this.
I sang at Gladys's funeral. We were supposed to sing 3 songs. They were a very religious family. They had a glass covering over her coffin. Elvis laid over her coffin and said, "Mama, I'd give everything I got in the world and dig ditches the rest of my life just to bring you back for 5 minutes." And then for somebody to come up here and tell a blasted, blooming, confounded lie like that is sickening and disgusting. And every time...
Take a break.
The most intimate relationship,
Fair play to JD.
and he shared.
JD, you got 20 seconds.
JD was such a good friend.
See, they're the
And Joe Esposito.
American people.
If you don't think anything of your own family and your own boys, which you have made sick, you have almost ruined your son's ministry, which he's a good kid. What about Lisa Marie? Did you ever love her?
Let's get back to
Did you ever have any feeling for Lisa Marie?
I loved all of them. But JD, let's take it back. My sons
can't
have
take it
lived.
back.
No. The point, JD, nobody lived. Everybody around Elvis lived a lie.
I have been as sorry as you can get.
I have been sorry too about the
And
situation I
you're
have
still
felt.
doing a good job.
Well, this issue has to be.
Take a break.
Do you know what? The whole thing is very, very, very uncomfortable. Let me just go. So we've got another video to play, guys. Let me just click, see if I can find it. Where are we? It's here somewhere. 1 second. Right, here we
was
go.
only one woman who...
Right. Okay. Let me just check you guys are here. So the whole thing is a lie, guys. It's all bullshit. Now, why do we play a video like this? Because we want the world to know how unfairly Elvis was treated. Remember how good Elvis was to the boys, to Dee Stanley's children. You know, they had been allegedly abandoned. Yeah? More or less, not definitely, but that's how they felt. I think I'm pretty sure, you know, read the book. It discusses how Elvis was like a father figure to the boys. Yeah? Billy, Ricky and Dave. Yeah, now I'm not going to go into Billy, Ricky and Dave's story because that is complex as well, because unfortunately Ricky and Dave massively, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes, not fact, betrayed Elvis, said the most disgusting things about Elvis, double-crossed him, backstabbed him, but that's a separate topic, yeah? This is about Dee, yeah? Now, look how good Elvis was to Dee Stanley's children. You know, I think there was 6 and... I can't remember the ages now. Was it 6, 7 and 9? Something like that. Elvis more or less adopted these kids, gave them a beautiful life, yeah? Taught them about Christianity, prayed with them, gave them everything they could ever dream of. They were living at Graceland. So Elvis was so good to Dee Stanley's children. Yeah, he really did. I think he really did love them. He really wanted to do right by the Stanley boys. And this is exactly why Dee Stanley should not, for money, have done this disgusting Geraldo show. Yeah. I know Billy tried to talk her out of it. He told me. And I know that she was offered a large amount of money. Yeah. So the reason I'm playing it today is because this has been sent to me by a lot of people. Somebody has reduced this clip to a 6-minute clip. I've had about 20 people send it me. And I thought, I'm going to have to play it. So then this gets posted that I've only just found. Someone posted it to me. A few people posted it to me. Let me just see how long ago. Yeah, a day ago, by USA History and Images. And it discusses Elvis was very upset with his father marrying Dee Stanley. So let's just listen to this. Obviously, it's probably AI, artificial intelligence. I'm not sure how much time we've got, but I'm going to try and play all of it. So let's just try and understand how Elvis felt about his father, Vernon Presley, after Gladys passed. Poor Gladys, God rest her soul. We love her, we miss her. Let's just try and understand how Elvis felt about Vernon marrying Dee Stanley. Okay, let's keep going, guys. Now remember, there's no hate here. We are just a discussion YouTube channel. It's for entertainment purposes, no facts, just opinion sharing on a YouTube platform. Okay, I'm not trying to create hate. I'm just trying to understand it so that we can defend Elvis. So, yeah, that's what this is all about.
We know there was only one woman who truly ruled the heart of the king of rock and roll. It wasn't Priscilla, it wasn't Anne Margaret, it was Gladys Presley. Their connection was spiritual, something from another dimension. But did you know that shortly after losing the love of his life, Elvis felt deeply betrayed by his own father? Today, we are going to enter the gates of Graceland to unravel the most painful family feud of Elvis's life. We're going to talk about Devada Dee Stanley, the woman the press called the wicked stepmother, and discover why Elvis refused to go to his own father's wedding and why he never accepted her taking the place of his mother.
So remember, guys, how can I say this? The story of Dee Stanley, yeah, and Vernon and Elvis. It's a bit of a triangle, yeah. If you look it up, I think it starts off with, I'm pretty sure, put it in the comments, that she phones Elvis's home, trying to meet Elvis, and then eventually that leads to her meeting Vernon, yeah. So the thing about these AI videos, they always have brilliant pictures and videos clips in them. So that, to me, looks like Priscilla. I've never seen that picture before, actually. Honestly, I have never seen this picture before. So I'm going to take a picture of that. That's the first time I've seen that picture. Dee with Priscilla. Yeah, that's definitely Priscilla. Okay, so let's just keep going. I don't know what parts of this is true or not true. This is obviously a discussion done by this YouTube channel. So let's just keep going.
If you are a true fan, fix your pompadour, get your peanut butter and banana sandwich ready, and stay with me until the end, because this story has details that many documentaries don't tell. To understand the depth of the scar that Dee Stanley left on Elvis's soul, we need, first of all, to understand what August 1958 was.
So look at that picture. I've never seen this picture. Never seen that picture before. Let's keep going.
It wasn't just the month his mother died. For Elvis, it was the end of the world as he knew it. The relationship between Elvis and Gladys wasn't a common mother and son relationship. It was a spiritual symbiosis.
So what, obviously when it's AI, guys, they really milk the wording, the narrative, the storyline. So you've got to sort of see past that. What year do you think this picture was? Is this their wedding picture? What year was this? Put it in the comments, guys.
They spoke their own language, shared dreams, fears, and a connection that many described as telepathic. When Gladys's heart stopped in that hospital in Memphis, a vital part of Elvis died along with her.
Again, that picture, I'm sure that's Priscilla in the background. It looks like they're having breakfast. I mean, I can see what they're eating. I wonder where they get these pictures from.
Eyewitnesses at the funeral say that Elvis wasn't just sad, he was hysterical. He threw himself over the casket, begging her to get up, touching her feet, weeping convulsively. He was inconsolable, distraught.
I've never seen that picture. I love seeing Elvis. Look at Elvis there. Wow. Elvis has got a bit of muscle there. I love it.
Destroyed. That 23-year-old boy, whom the world saw as a symbol of rebellion and strength, was reduced to a terrified child, alone in the dark. His grief didn't last weeks.
Look at that picture. My God. Have any of you ever seen these pictures? Because I haven't.
Or months. It lasted a lifetime. He never, ever got over it. And it is in this scenario of emotional devastation that the figure of Vernon Presley enters, along with what Elvis...
Honestly, guys, I'm blown away by these pictures. Yeah, I mean, look how young Vernon looks in that picture. Elvis with his sunglasses on. Just, you know.
...is considered the supreme betrayal. Vernon, the father, of course felt the loss of his wife. But Vernon was a practical man, a simple Southern man, and he dealt with the pain in a very different way than his son. While Elvis turned his grief into an untouchable sanctuary, Vernon sought companionship to fill the silence.
See, when I see a picture like that, obviously Elvis has got his arm, Dee is in the middle, and then you've got Vernon and Elvis either side. Elvis was a kind man, wasn't he? You know, I know it does feel like he was not happy about the marriage, yeah. But at the same time, because he loved his father, he probably tried to make the best of it, yeah? Obviously, the way that he was there for Ricky, Dave and Billy says everything about Elvis. He wanted to do the right thing, you know, having stepbrothers, he took it very seriously.
A few months after the funeral, Elvis was sent to Germany to fulfill his military service. He took his father with him, perhaps in the hope that, together, they could heal the wounds far from Memphis.
See, that's a great picture. Look at it, Linda Thompson. Like, oh, she looks amazing. I've always thought Linda Thompson was stunning, always. And I've always thought she helped Elvis move on from Priscilla.
But it was in Germany, in the city of Bad Nauheim, that Elvis's nightmare began to take shape. While the King of Rock tried to be a good soldier and dealt with the depression of loss, Vernon met Devada Dee Stanley. The situation started wrong in Elvis's eyes. Dee was...
See, I've never seen that picture, guys. I'm going to keep stopping. Every time I see a picture I've never seen, I'm going to say so.
...wasn't a single woman. She was married to an American military sergeant stationed there. The fact that his father was getting involved with a married woman while the earth on Gladys's grave was still fresh turned Elvis's stomach.
It's funny how I watched this on something I did this morning. Anyone that ever just knew Elvis, even 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, still make money from the fact that they just knew him. Just even if it was a glimpse. Obviously, Dee obviously knew him quite well through the marriage, through her children as well. Obviously, they became Elvis's stepbrothers. But how many other celebrities are there that people can carry on making money from the name just for knowing someone briefly? Whether it was through marriage or, you know, obviously here it's through the marriage of Vernon. But Elvis is, I'm telling you, Elvis is the only celebrity that every single person that ever came into contact with him could, if they wanted to, go on to make money from his name. Yeah. No one else has that effect. I don't think so.
That went against all the Christian and family principles that Gladys herself had taught. But the worst part wasn't the adultery. It was the speed. To Elvis, it seemed Vernon was eager to replace Gladys, as if she were an old piece of furniture that could be swapped for a new one.
Well, I definitely don't agree with that. Don't forget, it's AI. Guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to speed it up a little bit because I don't have that much longer. So I'm just going to slightly increase the speed. It won't make any difference, but it will mean that I can play the whole video.
Elvis.
Ooh, wrong one. Let's go the right way. Is it going to let me? Let's have a look. You'll still understand it, guys.
Viewed that as sacrilegious disrespect. How could anyone occupy the place of the woman who had given her blood, who had gone hungry so they could eat, the woman who was the architect of the Presley's success? When they returned to America in 1960, Elvis's hope was that the vacation romance in Germany would end. He wanted to return to Graceland and feel...
Did you hear that? It said he thought it was just a bit of a vacation romance and that it would end. Yeah. Did Elvis think that they would actually get married?
His mother's presence. He wanted him and his father to live out their mourning together in the house she loved. But Vernon had other plans. He brought Dee to the United States. And he didn't just bring her.
There we are. So Vernon brought Dee Stanley to Graceland.
He announced the wedding. The date was set, July 3rd, 1960, less than 2 years after Gladys's death. For Elvis, time stopped. He felt stabbed in the back by the only man he should have trusted blindly. The tension...
Don't forget, this is AI opinions, yeah? I'm not saying Elvis did feel that.
in Graceland in the days leading up to the wedding was palpable, almost suffocating. The Memphis Mafia, Elvis's loyal friends, were walking on eggshells. No one dared to mention Dee's name in front of him.
Is that true? Is that true, guys? Remember, this is all just for entertainment purposes, not fact, just opinion sharing, discussion, YouTube channel.
Then the day arrived. Vernon left for Huntsville, Alabama for the ceremony, and Elvis took the most eloquent action of his personal life. He stayed home. The press speculated, fans whispered, but the truth was raw and painful. Elvis Presley, the model son, the boy who bought a pink Cadillac for his mother, refused to see his father get married. It wasn't a tantrum.
So it's true Elvis was not at the wedding, yeah? You guys put it in the comments. Why was Elvis not at the wedding? I've heard a few different reasons. You put it in the comments, guys.
It was a declaration of principles. By not going to the wedding, Elvis was telling the world and his father, "I love you, but I love Mama more, and I will not validate this union." He remained in Graceland, surrounded by Gladys's memories, while his father signed the papers that made the entry of the wicked stepmother into the Presley dynasty official. Quick pause here, Elvis family. I need to know your opinion on this attitude. Do you think Elvis was right to boycott his own father's wedding out of loyalty to his mother? Or do you think he was too harsh on Vernon?
It's a good question, guys. Do you think Elvis should have gone to the wedding? Put it in the comments, please, because I've been interested to know what Elvis fans feel.
Comment down below, Elvis right or Elvis wrong? I want to see what the majority thinks. That day, July 3rd, marked a fracture in the relationship between father and son that never fully healed. Vernon chose to move on. Elvis chose to stay in the past, guarding his queen's throne. And when Vernon returned home with his new wife, expecting to start a happy new life, he found the gates of Graceland open. Yes, but his son's heart was locked forever regarding this new woman.
Oh, well, no. I think Elvis loved Vernon deeply. So he did learn to live with it. Of course, he wanted them to live separately in the house that he got for them. So remember, this is artificial intelligence, so I don't agree with every comment, okay?
The Cold War had begun, and Elvis was armed with the most dangerous weapon of all, absolute indifference. Imagine the scene. The musical gates of Graceland open, and the Cadillac drives up the driveway. Vernon Presley brings his new wife home. Dee Stanley steps out of the car, looks at that white and imposing mansion, and probably thinks her new life as the matriarch of the Presley family is just beginning. She believed she would be the new lady of the house, the woman who would bring order to the star's life. And
I've heard about this. Is that true? Is there any truth to what this AI video is saying?
His father's. What she didn't know, and what she would discover in the most painful way possible, is that that position was already taken. And the owner of the title, even though she was no longer physically present, would never be destitute. For Elvis, Graceland wasn't just brick and mortar. It was the physical body of Gladys's love. Every curtain, every trinket, every piece of furniture had been chosen or touched by her. Her scent was still in the hallways. Her room was intact, like a sacred sanctuary where time dared not pass.
I think that's true, yeah.
When Dee entered and started trying to impose her presence, suggesting changes in decoration, wanting to move furniture or alter the domestic routine, Elvis saw that as a profanation.
And I've read about this. I've read that Dee wanted to change things at Graceland. Let's keep going.
It was as if someone entered a church and started painting the stained glass windows another color. Elvis's response wasn't violent. He didn't scream, didn't break things, and didn't make dramatic scenes in front of the staff. Elvis's response was absolute ice. He initiated a campaign of silence and invisibility that was much sharper than any insult. Little by little, the atmosphere
See, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, guys.
Inside the mansion became unbreathable. Accounts from those who lived there at the time, members of the famous Memphis Mafia, say that Elvis simply stopped visiting the rooms where Dee was.
It's artificial intelligence. Don't forget, this is an AI video, guys. I don't know if anything that is being said now is correct.
If she was in the living room, Elvis went up to his room. If she entered the kitchen, he left. The most sacred moment for a Southern family, dinner, became a silent battleground. Elvis...
I think we're just doing a bit of exaggerated narration here, but let's keep
who
going.
loved the communion of meals, started eating upstairs or at alternative times, just so he wouldn't have to sit at the table and see that woman occupying the chair that should have been his mother's.
Right. Is there any truth to that Elvis started eating upstairs because he didn't want to be anywhere near Dee? Is that, have any of you read that in any books?
He treated her with impeccable Southern manners, but devastating ones. He called her ma'am or Miss D, but never with warmth, never with affection. It was a mechanical politeness, an insurmountable barrier that clearly said, "You are my father's wife, but you..."
It's funny because I've seen interviews where Dee Stanley says her and Elvis were close.
"You are nothing to me." Dee tried to get close, tried to act with a maternal familiarity, but she hit a concrete wall. Elvis transformed her into a ghost inside his own house.
Again, that is alleged. I don't know if that's true.
The situation reached an unsustainable point. Vernon, stuck in the crossfire between the son he idolized and his new wife, was visibly uncomfortable. Elvis realized he couldn't kick his father out of the house, but he also couldn't live under the same roof as her anymore. The energy of Graceland was contaminated. It was then that the king made a strategic and definitive decision.
So we know what's coming. He buys them the house, yeah, behind Graceland. Let's keep going.
He bought a house on Hermitage Drive. The property was adjacent to Graceland, the backyards practically touched. Elvis had the house renovated, made everything spotless, and gently invited his father and stepmother to move there.
And lately, we've actually done some live streams and videos on concerning that house being repaired and made good. Yeah, so at the moment it's in disrepair, isn't it?
It was a masterstroke. He kept his father close. Vernon still worked in the office behind the mansion every day, but removed the unwanted female presence from inside the sanctuary. The message was clear and brutal. "Dad, you work here, but you two live there." With the move to Hermitage Drive...
That is how it was, wasn't it, guys? Vernon eventually, it was very clear Vernon and Dee lived completely separately.
Elvis regained control of Graceland. The house returned to breathing Gladys's memory, free from the interference of the wicked stepmother. Dee was effectively exiled to the neighboring house, forbidden, by an unspoken rule, to circulate freely through the main mansion as if she were the owner. But this story has a twist that shows who Elvis really was. Dee didn't come alone. She brought her 3 small sons, Billy, Rick, and David Stanley. In any other situation, it would be natural for Elvis to transfer the contempt he felt for the mother onto the sons. But Elvis Presley had a heart that couldn't fit in his chest.
He sure did. He sure did. And the story of how Elvis welcomed the boys, the 3 boys, you know, Dee's children, is beautiful. It is a beautiful story.
While he applied the freeze-out on Dee, he opened his arms to the boys. He looked at those children and didn't see enemies. He saw boys who needed a role model. Elvis welcomed the Stanley brothers. They grew up...
He sure did. He sure did.
Up running through the halls of Graceland, swimming in the pool, and playing with the king. Elvis became their big brother, their mentor, and their hero.
And guys, let's face it, Ricky, Billy, and Dave really, truly loved Elvis. You know, things went wrong as they got older. Yeah, many very serious mistakes made by Ricky and Dave. Yeah. We're not going to talk about it in this show, guys, but Elvis deserved better. Elvis deserved better from the boys. Yeah. Now Billy Stanley has gone on to be a great defender, and he's wrote a beautiful book, The Faith of Elvis. But Elvis deserved better.
He bought cars, paid for the best schools, and later gave them jobs and a purpose in life. This distinction is fundamental to understanding Elvis's mind. His problem wasn't blind. He didn't hate the Stanley family. He specifically rejected the attempt at maternal substitution. By treating Dee's sons as his own brothers, while keeping their mother at a distance, Elvis proved that his attitude was a defense of honor, not an act of malice.
Yeah, guys, I've read many stories. I've listened to many interviews from Ricky, Dave, and Billy, and Elvis was really good to the boys. Like, really kind, really did act like a proper brother. Yeah, really showed them love, introduced them to Christianity. I think Dee Stanley was a Christian, wasn't she?
He protected his territory, expelled the invader, but saved the innocent. It was his final triumph in that domestic feud. He dictated the rules, protected his mother's memory, and still came out as the hero of the story for those boys. Seriously, what a man's attitude, right? He separated the mother from the children and took care of the boys as if they were his own blood.
I think that's true, yeah? Do we think that's true, guys? Put it in the opinions. Did Elvis treat the Stanley boys as if they were his own blood?
I want to hear from you watching. Would you have that greatness of spirit, or would you have trouble accepting her children? Tell me in the comments if you agree with the king's attitude.
It's a good question. Please put it in the comments, guys.
If Elvis had reasons to distrust Dee Stanley's intentions while he was alive, death ended up proving that his instincts were as sharp as a razor. August 16, 1977, didn't just mark the end of the King of Rock, it marked the beginning of a cruel battle for the narrative of his life. With Elvis in the grave, the protective shield that kept the Presleys' privacy under control disappeared.
Whew. Well, we could talk all day about that. I agree. Once Elvis died, there was a lot of betrayal, a lot of backstabbing, double-crossing. Trust was broken. People let Elvis down. People were out to make money. People that were very close to Elvis. Even pledges were broke. Yeah. So if Elvis had lived longer, many of the things that happened, the betrayal to Elvis, would not have happened. I really believe that.
And it was in this power vacuum that the figure of Dee Stanley revealed a face that many fans already feared. The hardest blow came through public exposure. Shortly after the tragedy, the world saw the release of books and interviews where Dee decided it was time to tell her truth.
But, you know, in my opinion, guys, there was no truth to what Dee said. It was a money-making thing. It was all about getting wealthy, being famous, being on TV. So I don't believe anything that Dee Stanley went on to say concerning Elvis.
For Elvis's devotees, who valued discretion and family dignity, that was a profanation. In the book Elvis, We Love You Tender, and in media appearances, Dee exposed the intimacy
Oh, I'm going to pass over that bit. I don't want to hear it. Let's keep going.
Who always protected his own and kept his problems behind closed doors. Seeing the stepmother selling stories of the family's private life was confirmation that she never really understood what it meant to be oppressed.
And they all wrote books, guys. All of them wrote books. All three of the brothers wrote books. Books that I think didn't need to be written. You know, of course, you know, The Faith of Elvis is a good book. But all the other books, guys, no. No, they let him down. Ricky and Dave 100% let Elvis down.
She tried to insert herself into the legend of Elvis as a central piece, but her actions after his death had the opposite effect. Instead of gaining the public sympathy, she alienated the base of loyal fans, the TCB crowd, who saw in those books an attempt to profit from the memory of a man who never fully accepted her. She attacked his privacy when he could no longer defend himself. However,
that is a big thing to say, when he could no longer defend himself. This is the problem, that Elvis can't jump up and go, that's not true. Why are you saying that? How could you treat me like that? Why would you say these things? Why? I loved you. I trusted you. I was good to you. I gave you everything. This is the problem. When Elvis passed, no one was going to stop him. Anyone from saying the most disgusting things about him, sharing the most private details about him. Many of them, in my opinion, not true. Many of them, yeah. Many things exaggerated for money, for sensationalism, sort of National Enquirer type craziness that went on through the 80s and 90s. And many people that were close to Elvis let him down.
And silent justice came through Vernon Presley himself. And this is the saddest and most revealing chapter of this saga. Vernon, the man who brought Dee into their lives, the man whom Elvis tried not to hurt by pulling away, ended up realizing too late that his son was right about the dynamic of that relationship. The marriage of Vernon and Dee didn't stand the test of time, and, more importantly, didn't withstand the tragedy. They divorced in 1977, the same fateful year Elvis died. In his final months of life, Vernon, sick and heartbroken over the loss of his only son, lived the weight of his choices. The veil had fallen. Vernon finally saw what Elvis saw on day one, that union didn't have the solid, sacred, and altruistic foundation he had with Gladys. Elvis...
I think Vernon and Dee divorced in 75. I'm pretty sure, you know, a couple of years before Elvis passed. I do think eventually Vernon saw Dee Stanley in a different way. I do.
His revenge was historic, without him needing to say a word. Reality took care of everything. Dee Stanley ended her journey far from the inner circle.
Ah, can you hear it? It's artificial intelligence, yeah? The guy's accent has changed. I'm sure what accent has he got now?
Seen by millions not as the matriarch she dreamed of being, but as a figure who tried unsuccessfully to rewrite history in her favor. No final das contas, the
Okay. Anyway, it's artificial intelligence, guys. So, you know, take it all with a pinch of salt. Now, we're coming to the end of the show now, guys. But the point of this, I'm going to go now because stuff got going on with the kids. But the point of this is to show you guys, we are a Defending Elvis channel. Yeah, we must show the wrongdoing to Elvis and try and straighten things out. Try and clear the smoke out the way so that the world can see the true man. That is the point of this video. It's not about hate or attacking people. The world needs to know the truth. Okay, guys, I gotta go. Take care, everyone. I'll be back for another video. You know, I want you to know, guys. See you later. I want, guys. I'm not against.
I'm going to my friend's house.
All right, go on. Come this way a little bit.
We're going to Boggin.
You're going to Boggin and to. So who's taking you?
Jake.
All right, you're going with her mum.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So look at Team Elvis. Look at that.
I've already packed loads of stuff, but I need to get my American Girl stuff.
Ah, this is Yasmin, by the way. Yasmin, how old are you?
9.
9. And is Daddy the best in the world? So okay, so we're just saying goodbye now. So take care.
Bye.
So guys, all right. So they're going somewhere in a minute, I think. What are we trying to do here? We're trying to pick out all the different things and just say to the world, don't believe it. Everything's been twisted, exaggerated. Many people let Elvis down. The people closest to Elvis let him down. Yeah. Now, there's also many people that were very loyal to Elvis, that were very good to Elvis. People like Charlie Hodge, and Margaret, just J.D. Sumner, Joe Esposito. There's just so many people that were so good to Elvis. Yeah. So we're trying for the future generations of fans that are joining the rank, you know, joining us as Elvis fans. We're trying to say, look, don't believe all the twisted lies that have been said about Elvis in the last 50 years, because it's just not true. Yeah. We want the world to know the true Elvis. And this is what Donna Presley's doing. She's trying to show the world the true Elvis. Yeah. She's doing a bloody good job of it as well. I'm so proud of her. So we are going to be doing part 2 of her interview where Donna Presley meets the Duchess of Cornwall, is it? At a royal home in England. Yeah. So we did part 1. We're going to do part 2. All right, guys. Love you all, guys. So everything I say in this whole show is for entertainment purposes, not a fact, just an opinion sharing discussion program. And we are allowed to do reaction videos. This was a reaction video where we stop and start the video. I add my commentary and transform the video, and it's completely covered by fair use laws. You don't get strikes for doing reaction videos. Yeah, it's allowed to happen. It's part of YouTube. In fact, millions of people do reaction videos. Take care, guys. There's lots more to come. You know, we will be still defending Elvis. We will. And also, we will also be sharing lovely Elvis stories as well. Okay?